so I haven't done a video in a while. Not even any of my, well, I did one of my own videos, but definitely won't be posted. Let's see, my heat froze because the boiler isn't putting enough pressure out, and so now I have to have my heat cranked all the time. It is minus 30 outside and it's plus 30 inside and I feel like I'm in Hawaii. It's been like this for days and I'm so hot and dehydrated and I don't want to go off on horribleness, but it's been rough and all I have to do, like, I've been sick before, like, normally it's because I'm so mentally fucked up, but then I get this physical illness and I treat myself and I'm better, and then I get drugged, so I'm mentally ill. So I can never actually be like physically and mentally healthy at the same time. It's frustrating. So right now I am surprisingly pretty mentally stable, and I'm not, like, I am having flashbacks because I don't even call them flashbacks. It's basically more just thinking about the past because I'm facing my death. Like, I'm gonna die, and if I stay here, I know I'm gonna die. Consistency will win. The words on the screen have left my doctor that I see so ignorant that, you know, I go in there with asthma attacks and he gives me refills for fucking psych meds. Ear infections that end up rupturing. I'm done with the words on the screen. I'm done with seeing people like that. Like, so basically I've been thinking, I don't want to die. Like, I want to live. I know I'm super suicidal and everything because I'm suicidal because I don't have any choice in the world and I'm kind of stuck in one spot and I can't grow, and I know that my physical health's been taken and I'm just going to get sicker and sicker, and it's just a race between, is my chest going to die first? Is my brain going to twitch out? And am I going to have a stroke? Like, I've researched dying of parasites and it's not a very nice way to die. So basically I've ordered this medicine in the mail, but it's going to take forever. So before that medicine comes, I want to get away from this province and into a different province and go see a hospital. Just walk into any hospital. By the time I do that, I will have the ultrasound pictures. I will have an overnight reading of my chest, of my oxygen levels dropping, of my blood pressure dropping. I could take all that with me and just say, here, a friend helped me out, told me I should go into the hospital. I'm just a transient. Like, could it simply be that fucking easy? Don't tell them I'm even from here. I don't know. I don't know. So then there's what I just blanked out about would be my future afterwards, because I would still be coming back to the same words on the screen. If it works and I'm healthy and I come back treated, I'm still coming back to 3 years probation because of another time I fought for my life. Because of another time I was drugged and I was withdrawing. And now I have 3 years of probation. And I think about it. And, you know, I think I know who I am. And if it was me that went in there, I wouldn't have brought in fireworks and fucking fuel. Well, I had an ex that taught me a trick. White fuel fucking evaporates right away. You can throw matches on people, pour gas on them, and freak them out, right? So he did this to my stalker. So this is what I learned. And so, yeah. So I learned this little trick, and I went in to the pharmacist and did this, and that was personal. Like, what the fuck? It's knowing me. I would have just walked in there, took it off the shelf, and left. Been like, fuck you, I'm going to work. That's exactly what I did the next day. Went to work. I'm just so frustrated at all the lengths that I've gone through to try to fight for my life because of the words on the screen. Because I'm told I'm delusional. And I've been thinking about a lot of that this morning. Like how many times I went in and, you know, at first I used to go in and tell them that I was being drugged and raped once I figured it out. And once I confronted Darcy, and then the violence got worse. And I told the doctors, and they told me I was delusional. Meanwhile, people were taking pictures of this. People were following me. And I go into so I stopped talking about the violence behind the pregnancies. And I just go in. And I go in for these blood tests, and then I keep getting fatter, and I find out that I am pregnant. And I try to keep the mentality that it's not my baby. I'm never going to be able to keep this baby because I know damn well ministry's just going to take it just like all the others. I'm going to get an abortion that they're not going to tell me about, or they're going to tell me I have to have some surgery, and they're going to cut a baby out of me. And so it was really frustrating because the words on the screen say I'm a drug addict whore, and then I'm just going in there. And I think about these pregnancies, and I think about how often I made sure that, you know, I didn't go down the stairs before Darcy so he couldn't push me. How many times I never ate the food or drank the drinks he'd give me. I'd dump it out. I think of all the things I did to protect these kids, like not smoking and trying to eat healthy and always trying to eat out. Like, if I ever ate anything, it would be from sealed packages or from takeout, and it was directly given to me, you know. He just drugged me because he knew I had a doctor's appointment. He drugged me before a blood test. He wouldn't waste his drugs all the time drugging me. And so the majority of my pregnancies were actually pretty healthy. With the exception of being drugged and raped. Things I could not control. Waking up to being kicked. Smothered. And I think out of my control, how much is out of my control today? And the hopelessness that I felt back then and what I have today is the same hopelessness. So like, I go and I do all this shit, and maybe I get treated, and maybe I live. Maybe I get arrested and sent back and have to go in front of a judge. It's gonna go one way or the other. But I don't see how I'm gonna get arrested. There's nothing in my probation order that says I can't leave the province. So, I don't know. I'm just so frustrated because for so long I felt like I didn't deserve to live. Like, after I confronted Darcy about what I did, it didn't really matter so much about the violence anymore. Like, I got used to it, and after 5 years, you just get used to it. And then you get used to the doctors and nurses treating you like shit. You get used to waking up in ERs and ICUs, not knowing how you got there, hearing the nurses talk, if you figuring out, you know, are you still pregnant or not by what they're saying. To get discharged back to him. And the doctor's talking to him, telling him that I'm pregnant, or telling him if I'm not, telling him if it was a boy or a girl. How else would he have known? So I just think, even since I was a child, they've been lying to me. My first pregnancy, the daughter that I met when I lost my memory, so I don't even think she's my first pregnancy. I'm pretty sure I had one before her. But I would have been, she was 1993 or 92. So I would have been 10 and I would have given birth. No, I would have been 11, giving birth at 12. And I wonder, like, what kind of fucking system, what kind of ministry would allow a child to live in a house that's pregnant? Like, I remember getting fat. I remember being hungry and going to the fridge in the middle of the night and my mom waking up and calling me a fat fucking pig. I remember that. Like, trying to eat, I remember just the effort to get food was so harsh, and the only person that brought me food was the one person that they're now saying was raping me and doing all this horrible stuff to me. I mean, it was wrong for him to fuck around with me when I was that young. But I was young and naive. And he was the only one that protected me. He was the only one that gave me food. My sisters used to fucking... The bullying was so bad, I used to make hammocks and sleep outside. And I also did it when they had parties. I used to hide somewhere to sleep because they used to always come in with some pop or something for me to drink. And I learned after sleeping over at the Goodalls that you don't take drinks from strangers because they hurt you, because you fall asleep. I didn't understand I was being drugged because I was too young to know what drugs were. I knew I could never tell the truth about it because I was always told I was delusional, that I made up stories, because that's what my mom told everyone. And I'm at my wit's end. I don't know. All I have left to do is think about the past, and like, I'm thinking back 30 years. And I seriously need to try to leave this province, is what I've decided. I have one good friend here that's kind of keeping me here, because I don't like rebuilding. I don't like starting all over again. And with this probation order, I have to reside here. So what, am I gonna have to travel back and forth every single time I need treatment? If I do get this set up? I don't know. I find myself fantasizing all the time about getting treated. And the doctor's just waiting for me to die, and I'm not dying. They want to run their tests? No, thank you. I'm done with you. I don't know. It's a fantasy, is all it is.